the conversion part is the hardest. That's typically the area of the funnel where my clients are tripped up the most. That's why I like to use the framework as a way to think about a cohesive strategy, because you could be doing a ton of things at the top of the funnel to get in front of more people and get more people knowing about you. But if you're not taking those proactive steps to convert people to get their information, then you really can't do a great job at nurturing them.
Hi, and welcome to Season 8 of the 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat with Anna Larson and Selena Conmack. Together with their rotating panel of expert guests, these real-life boss babes share lessons learned and best practices you can use to level up your business. Anna is the owner of Nomadabout and is known for blending killer copy with proven marketing methods to create exciting business communications. Selena owns Howley Socially Inspired, and from layout to launch, her sleek website design and trending social media strategies provide a memorable customer experience with a taste of that famous Aloha spirit. Now it's time to laugh and be inspired, so grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat, Season 8 of Best Practices and Advice for Entrepreneurs and Small Business Owners. Now, do you have a digital marketing strategy? Our guest today, Kristi Mitchell, is a strategic marketing coach. She's bringing top tips on how to create a marketing funnel framework that maximizes how you spend your time, energy, and marketing dollars. Let's talk about how to organize and prioritize your organic digital marketing efforts on today's 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat.
Hello.
Yeah.
I had my fan on and I was like, oh, I had some Beyonce hair kind of going on, and I was like, okay, it's not that kind of a show today, right? I got to level it down.
It totally could be. I mean, we could put the spotlights out, the Beyonce hair going. I'm down with that today.
I mean, I'm excited for today's show. I think anytime you can tell me that we're going to talk about organic marketing, I get more excited. I get it. Paid marketing is a reality, but still there's so much about organic marketing that everybody should know, understand, learn. And so I love that this is the meat and potatoes of our guests, what she does. That's her zone of genius. So
yeah, and let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
If you're an entrepreneur that's just getting started and kind of DIYing and bootstrapping, a lot of times you don't have the money for that paid marketing and advertising. So knowing and having a strategy for organic marketing is super important. I mean, it's the long game of your marketing plan, right?
Well, and on the flip side though, Anna, learning about organic marketing could make you an even better paid marketing person too, because you understand the dynamics of what really works. So
absolutely,
I think they could definitely go hand in hand.
Yeah. So, okay. So we're not going to actually have the entire show without the guests on it. We're going to stop talking about them.
I know. Can you tell we're excited about today's show? We are. Okay. Okay.
We do, however, have a call to action. So if you're in our guest zone right now, if you're listening in right now, we would love for you to drop in the comments the answer to this question. Do you have currently a digital marketing strategy? And when I say strategy, I mean, have you sat down and planned it out? Not should I post today or not? Right? That's not what I'm talking about. Or, oh, that's cute, I'll repost that today, right? I want to know if you actually have a strategy and a plan in place that you're following. Actually, you don't have to follow it, but if you have one created,
just tell us.
Sometimes the following is the hard part, but if you have one created, I want to know about it. So drop it in the comments and let us know. And then I think we should just, read Kristi's bio and bring her on.
All right, you guys, this is Kristi. Kristi Mitchell is a marketing strategist with an MBA, over 10 years of corporate marketing experience, and a drive for continual learning in her field. She guides her customers to a better way to succeed and prevents the overwhelm of data, analytics, and digital marketing. Kristi offers a marketing success roadmap, implementation support, and ongoing accountability sessions to assist entrepreneurs and small business owners with digital marketing. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
I know, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bring her on. Let's
do it. Hi, Kristi.
Hi. Oh, I love you, ladies. This is going to be so fun.
Right? I mean, we got to hype it up, right? This is Anna and I say this all the time, Kristi. This is us all sneaking to the water cooler so we can talk about the boss that is with a closed door behind us, right?
Yes, love it.
Yeah. Very casual, but welcome to the show. Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes,
So
totally.
we have an answer to our call to action. Danielle is building one over the summer, which is awesome because this is going to be the perfect start, Danielle, to your summer marketing strategy build session.
Yes, I'm glad we brought it. So, okay, before we lose and forget, let's raise up our little coffee cup for a little coffee cup selfie with Kristi. And if you have one, cheers with her. Kristi might even have a second one, guys.
Yeah, I'll just double fisted this morning.
Yeah, we're representing.
This is a brand new one. I just
yes. All right, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, Kristi. Cheers, everybody.
I know. All right. I feel like I need to take a sip after we do that. Like it's like a,
Yes, it's bad luck if you don't sip after you cheers, right? So, all right. Okay, let's get going. Let's start in on the first question so we can get the most from Kristi before she has to leave.
Yes. Okay. So we're just going to start at the very beginning and talk a little bit about where your expertise lies, which is we're going to just start with the question, what is a marketing funnel? Can you just talk to people out there about what a marketing funnel is and, how it supports?
Yes. Basically, if you Google marketing funnel, you could come up with a whole bunch of different results. For me, I use the marketing funnel framework to really simplify and strategize when it comes to marketing, because marketing can feel super overwhelming and there are just way too many things that kind of fall under this big overarching umbrella. So the marketing funnel framework that I use is simple. So if you think of, a funnel, right? The wide part is on the top. So at the top of the funnel, we're attracting people. That's how are we getting in front of people? How are we helping them to learn about us and what we have to offer? And then the next stage of the funnel is converting them. And that's getting them to become a lead by providing usually their name and their email address in exchange for some sort of content, be it a webinar, downloadable, whatever. So get them to convert. And then you want to make sure you nurture them. And that's really kind of the biggest, longest part of the funnel. Typically, you want to stay in touch with them over time, because chances are the first time someone meets with you might not be the time that they are ready or willing to jump in and buy from you right away. So you want to nurture them over time through things like email marketing, now that you have their email address, and social media. And then at the bottom of the funnel, we're talking about closing the deal, which I'm not a sales trainer, but I really like to think of closing the deal in terms of what you could be doing in your marketing all along the way to help make closing that deal a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. So, and it literally, when you envision this, it is literally a funnel, there's a big group of people. And the more you narrow down those steps that Kristi just went through, it just narrows down your audience to the people that are actually going to do the buying at the very bottom, that conversion stage. So when you look at it, it really does kind of help in your mind, like you were saying, simplify your task down to, okay, I might not have people buying way up here when I'm doing this part of my marketing funnel, like that expectation. Because I think a lot of business owners start out with, I posted on social media and nobody's buying my product, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's frustrating for them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Or can I just say this though? You have some that say, but I had 100 people enter in, and you're not going to get all 100 on the first go. Boy, would that be cool if you did have 100%.
That would be great. Not reality. Yeah.
And it wouldn't be called a funnel, guys. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I think that is such an important distinction, because I think expectations are high when you're just starting, thinking you're doing all the right things. And so it's important to recognize that funnel is part of doing those right things, but it doesn't mean 100% conversion rate from that big, large group. Like you said, that 100 people at the top might funnel down to one single purchase at the bottom.
Completely.
Which is why having a strategy and doing it consistently is so important.
Yeah. I noticed too, there was a comment, the conversion part is the hardest. And I would say to John, you're not alone. That's typically the area of the funnel where my clients are tripped up the most. And so that's why I like to use the framework as a way to think about a cohesive strategy, because you could be doing a ton of things at the top of the funnel to get in front of more people and get more people knowing about you. But if you're not taking those proactive steps to convert people to get their information, then you really can't do a great job at nurturing them either if you don't have an email address to be following up with them. So
yeah. Ooh, that's good. That actually leads us directly into our second question. Oh. So you're a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur. Heck, you can be a medium-sized business owner. Large business owners, maybe it's a little bit of a different game. But for small or medium, how do they create that marketing funnel framework? Like, where do they even start? How do they build this out to know what the right thing to do is for their business?
Yes, I would say get my diagram up and you could attend. I hold free master classes, so that's an opportunity to like, okay, let's really look at this funnel. And I ask people as I'm going through it, like, I want you to have a sheet of paper and be like writing out these things as you go. I think it's important to think of each of the 4 stages: the attract, the convert, the nurture, and the close. And I think it's important to kind of go through the process of evaluating what do you have going on for each of those stages. And typically there's like glaring holes that come out of the exercise. And then it's like, okay, let's make sure we fill in those holes. Let's make sure we have a tool to convert people if that's your biggest gap. And then like prioritize that, because again, with marketing, there's so many different things to be doing, but let's prioritize like those big gaping holes so that we can at least feel like we have a cohesive strategy to move people down that funnel. And then we can look at optimizing different pieces of it along the way as well.
Do you find that business owners usually have one area in particular that is that big glaring gaping gap?
It's usually the convert.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because
I
nobody
hear,
likes asking the hard question.
what's that?
Nobody likes to ask that, like, do you want to buy question?
I think, I'm not sure if that's it or it's just, I've heard from so many people like, well, I have a lead magnet, but I haven't put it up on my website yet. Or, well, I have an idea for a lead magnet, but I haven't built it yet. Or, well, I had a lead magnet, but it wasn't working, so I haven't really promoted it. Like, I don't know. I feel like the whole lead magnet conversation is like, we could probably do a whole nother session just devoted to that.
Right? We probably could. That's interesting. Okay, so if we were to break down those different sections that you were talking about, the like the top, the middle, can you give us examples kind of what you're talking about from the start of your funnel down to that conversion? Like something that a business owner could be doing that would be like a framework.
Yes. So for me personally, so the attract part of my funnel involves a bunch of things. It involves networking. It involves, SEO on my website and content. It involves social media. It involves doing presentations. That's a big part of my marketing plan for this year. Last year was podcast interviews, getting on other people's podcasts. And now this year I'm focusing on doing my masterclass presentation to wider audiences. So it's the chance to like get out in front of new people and help them learn about me. That's not enough, right? I want them to learn about me, but then I also want their name and their email address. And so when I host my own masterclass, people have to fill out a form. So I'm getting them to convert by filling out a form. Now I have their name and their email address. And then I'm nurturing them by sending out a monthly newsletter every month to my email list and maybe sending out some other emails here and there along the way, and also staying consistent with my LinkedIn strategy. LinkedIn is my favorite platform to be, and I show up on a very consistent basis on LinkedIn. So through email marketing and LinkedIn, those are kind of my big nurture tactics. And then closing the deal. Like I said, I always think in terms of like, what can I be doing in my marketing to help close the deal? So it's sharing things like testimonials and results that I've helped my clients achieve and those kinds of things to just show this is what someone else achieved by working with me, and, giving you a sense of what you might achieve as well.
That is so succinct. Like, I love what you just did. Like, you gave the examples all the way down through, and it was in my head, I'm thinking, if I was just starting out, this is something practical. This is that practical value knowledge, right? Where I could be like, okay, oh, so I am doing each of these parts, maybe just not enough of this or enough of that. But you just gave some really great ideas, I think, for people that are just like trying to figure out how to, because marketing is big. I mean, it's so giant, right? It feels overwhelming.
Yep.
And you just simplified it down to like 5 things you can be doing right now that create a marketing funnel.
Yes. That's honestly, it's so funny because the marketing funnel is something that like I've always just kind of had in the back of my mind as like something that I sort of use, but I've never made it like front and center. And once I started to do that, and people just like latched onto it because they're like, oh, this is so simple. Like, even I could, people who feel like they struggle with marketing, they're like, even I can understand this. Like, let me use this. Now I have a framework to build on. And like, I think it just brings a level of like clarity and simplicity that cannot be overstated when it comes to marketing.
Yes.
I love that. You know, there are things like, you know, when you just can't put a name on it and you make yourself stuck. So when they see something that you provide that's very clear, it's like, oh, like, right? Like the clouds have like opened up and the sun is there. And I love that.
The Beyonce hair starts blowing.
Yes, the Beyonce hair blows. And it's like, I am ready to do this marketing. I'm a very visual person. So I totally believe in like locking things down so you can see that process. And I think, you know, not everybody is like that, but I think it's so good to visually see how it goes all the way down to that bottom, to that last one, which is but then then you just kind of recycle it. Like, hey, we're not done just because you had one sale. There'll be more from Kristi Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right?
There will be more. There will be more.
There will be.
It, right? It's either there will be more. Yeah. There will be more.
Yeah. You have to say it with some like, right? And the Beyonce hair. Like that's all at the same time. Yeah. Those are very important to the funnel.
Yes. So we have 2 questions I want to pull up that are coming in from our live audience right now. The first one is from Danielle. This is, I'd love more info on lead magnets. A new term for me. I get the concept, but an example would be helpful. Could you throw out an example for Danielle?
Yeah. Hey, I'll give you an example. I mean, I'm going to give it to Kristi, and Kristi's going to tell us an example. Kristi, I am a zoo. What kind of a lead magnet should I have?
I love the specificity.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are a zoo, you want to think about who your target audience is. It's probably some form of parents with young children. Okay. So you want to think about, how can I create a piece of content that's super helpful and relevant and solves a problem for those parents with these kids? Okay. So, I mean, I take clients through like a whole process. So we get like really in depth here, but just to give you like, you know, the nuts and bolts basics. So I could think of 5 educational opportunities for your preschooler at the zoo, something like that. Any kind of resource that's going to be, like I said, helpful, relevant, and solve a problem. Maybe it's getting ready for summer, right? How to use the zoo to fill in your time for the summer with your kids or something like that. It could be, you know, a how-to guide. It could be an ebook. It could be a white paper, and not for a zoo. White paper doesn't work. It could be a webinar. I mean, a webinar is a way to, you know, again, get people in. They have to fill out a form and give you their name and their email address in order to get access to that webinar. So get them to convert in some way so that now you have their name and their email address and you can stay in touch with them. Does that help?
Yeah, I hope so, Danielle. That's very smart. I wanted to give a real life, you know, where you're like, oh, I didn't know that was a lead magnet that I signed up for when I did a Meet the Scientist at the zoo, you know, thing or whichever. So.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it could be like a downloadable brochure, or it could be, there's so many different things. And I say lead magnet, people, it's called something different depending on who you talk to. Mm-hmm. There's so many different names, downloadable offer, freebie, people call them all different things.
Right.
Yeah. And just so people know, I just dropped Kristi's funnel framework, a blog that talks about that. So you can kind of have that visual and kind of have more information on each of those steps. I just dropped it into the comments. So you should be able to click on it and go and see that. Okay, so our second comment that we wanted to bring up is from John. So how does the strategy for a product-based business differ from a service-based business? Does it? That's a good question.
It is a good question. And I do specialize with working with service-based businesses. I don't work with as many product-based businesses. But I do think that principles still hold true. I think that, you know, especially, oh my gosh, when you ladies were getting into like organic versus paid before you brought me on, I was just like itching to jump at that conversation. I think when it comes to building your organic foundation from a marketing perspective, I think it's the same. It's making sure you have a solid website. It's making sure you have a presence on social media. It's making sure you have a way to convert people to get their information. I mean, you want to do that whether you're service-based or product-based. It doesn't matter. Yes, the downloadable is going to look different. But I think that the principles and the process is still very similar.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, just in with the people that I have worked with, all the principles are the same. The value of what you're providing people is what's going to change, right? So service-based businesses and product-based businesses have different value sets.
Yes.
I mean, in terms of like what they're giving the actual customer.
Mhm.
So I think that's where, it's the details that change, not the strategy itself necessarily.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good questions. Thank you,
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
People listening. Thanks
Yeah.
for those Ferguson. Good
All right.
questions. All right.
Okay. This is what I've been waiting for. This question that we're going to be asking Kristi.
Okay. So our next question. Hold on a second. Let me stop this really quick. I'm going to stop that little ticker. And the next question we have is, all right, what is your top tip for organically marketing your business? And then just to remind everyone, organic marketing is not paid advertising. So it's everything you do that you're not paying for, that's just free from your social platforms. So, okay, take it away, Kristi.
Top tip. It's so hard to pick one. I honestly, I don't know if this is cheating to say this, but I just feel so strongly that the tip would be to look at the funnel and do a little audit quickly. Like, is there a gaping hole that I'm missing? Because you could be doing all of the tactics in the world on the attract phase, but if you were not proactively capturing people's information, I just feel like it's such a huge miss to not have names and emails to be following up with people through email marketing. So I think that just doing my top tip would be look at the framework and like be honest with yourself how you feel like you're performing at each stage of it.
I would even say like you could really detail it out. This would be a really good those self-reflection times, like grow your business moments that you need to just sit down and like take a look at what you're doing and saying, is this worth my time? I'm spending X number of hours every week. I'm exhausted. It's overwhelming. Is it worth my time? And I could just see you taking each of those sections that you talked about. And I haven't looked at your blog, but I'm going to assume it's in your blog. And then just literally write out next to it, this is what I do to meet this requirement.
Yes.
And if you've got 59 things in the first thing and 1 in the second, there's a gaping hole. Like that's easy to visualize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're spending all your time in that and you have to spend time in that large funnel process because you're trying to get to as many people as you possibly can to start the narrowing down. Yep. But if you're only doing one thing in step 2, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
So I could see that being like a really, I see, look, you've inspired me. Now I'm going to have to be like all this weekend, writing out my blog, my funnel framework going, yeah, Kristi just knocked me in the butt. Like I got to get this moving.
Yes. So I just put the link to, hopefully I can't figure out how to share with everybody. So hopefully you ladies can take care of that. But I put a link in. So typically I've been running a masterclass every month. It's free. It's 30 minutes. And I take you through that framework and I ask you to be taking those notes and really going through that process of identifying like, what am I doing? What am I missing? So I don't have another date set because I'm doing a webinar coming up with somebody, but I'm going to do another masterclass for sure because people are just getting so much out of it. So I put the link on there. So if you want to be notified the next time I'm going to run it, there's a link that you could just hop right on and I'll make sure that you are notified the next time I run the masterclass.
Yeah, I just dropped the link in all of the different channels that we are streaming into right now. So if you're interested in that, hop on there, grab that link from Kristi. We have a follow-up question on the lead magnet before we close. I think this is a really good one, so I'd like to address it. So once someone's provided their info, is it just understood that they're going to start receiving emails? Do you have to put a disclaimer in? What's the process for that?
Yes, that's a great question. So I do have on my website, there's a link to my privacy policy. So that's best practice to have some sort of policy that states what you're going to do with somebody's information. And then, yeah, I mean, I feel like in this day and age, people kind of assume if they're giving out their name and their email address, they're going to be gotten in touch with. I've also, and I wanted to bring this up when someone had mentioned, the convert stage and like, how do you gather people's information? Another idea of a way to do this, and I just implemented it in my own system, I use Calendly for booking meetings with people. And so I've even added a question to my Calendly form. So when someone books a call with me, I'm asking if they're willing to be added to my email list. And 9 times out of 10 people say yes. And then I have like an automation set up so that they go ahead and get put on my list so I can stay in touch with them over time. So that's another thing to think about.
That's so smart. That's smart.
And can I just tell you, I mean, that's something that you don't think about, but that's part of your marketing funnel right there, is adding that one simple question to different places where you are making connections with people is part of that.
Yes.
So, okay. So,
let's talk about organic. Let's go back to organic. That's been our favorite word that we've not talked a lot about today is, why organic? You know what I mean, Kristi? Like, why would you say organic?
Yes, I just want to take a half a step back and say I'm so thankful for the way that I kind of came into the field of marketing, because my background was not in marketing. I did my undergrad in psychology and ended up in a position in higher ed where I was doing some program management and some marketing. And I really just kind of gravitated towards the marketing, and I was really self-taught for a lot of it. I downloaded a ton of HubSpot resources. If anyone's heard from HubSpot, they, I think, are doing the best content marketing out there. And I taught myself through all the resources that they provided. And so it was this great opportunity to not only learn the basics of organic marketing, but to see it in action, to see how the whole process works of like looking at things for free and then giving my information for, those more in-depth guides and how-to things. And then, of course, the sales call comes and they want it. We did end up purchasing HubSpot while I was there, and I implemented it, which was an awesome experience. But it was just, I'm so thankful that is my background of marketing, because that's what I bring, is like that need to do organic marketing very well. And what does that mean? It means not always going to the paid things, not always, paying to promote on Facebook and Instagram, or paying for radio ads. I've worked with clients who do that, or like commercials, or those super expensive things. There's so much that you can do organically to build a solid foundation from which to grow. I just feel so strongly that you have to have that in place before you jump to pay, which is more like, I see that as like amplifying your efforts, getting your message out in front of more people. And if I have a minute, can I share a quick story?
Yes.
So
over here nodding, like we're like,
okay, okay, good.
Yes.
I thought you'd be on board. I just talked to a prospective client last month, and he came to me and he wants to sell more like books and courses online. And he's like, so I want to do, some paid promotion on Facebook. And I was like, I looked at his website and I was like, I think we need to like fix some of these organic things first, because paying to get more traffic to a page that I don't think has strong sales copy or a strong call to action or real good way to explain why people should buy from you and what they're going to receive by purchasing these resources from you. I flat out told them, I said, you could find other marketers who will take your money and gladly run paid ads for you. I'm not that person. And so I think it just goes back to that notion of like, you need the strong organic foundation first, because otherwise, if you're just paying to send more people to a website that's missing the mark, like you're just not going to see the results from those efforts.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
I know. I want to like put up a big cheer. Like I wish we had exploding cheering fireworks going on.
Confetti. Throw the confetti.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. I might have that somewhere. If it's like, look, there it is. I do have it. I do.
You ladies are awesome. You're so organized with all of this.
I'm telling you. No, I'm so glad you said that. Anna and I have, part of our thing is that we build websites for clients. And there have been times where we've also had clients talk exactly what you just said. Like, oh, they have this like kick butt resource that they made, right? But it leads them to a really awful website that is not going to finish the job, right? Because your website is the one that closes the deal. It just ties the bow and they know they're in the right place. And I'm just so glad you said that, because I think it is so important, like you said, looking at all the steps of your process, right?
Yes.
You can't be fantastic on parts 1 and 2, and then like the closing part 3, is like, they're like, oh, like when you're like, did I come to the right place? I mean, virtually, right? You're like, that's how I feel when people come to a website. And then the minute you put a slight doubt into that buyer's mind, it can cause them not to click and purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that. Seriously, from a web designer, that's like, it makes my heart so happy.
And if you don't have a website and you're sending them somewhere else, like a Facebook page or something like that, the same concept applies. You have to be posting value-based information on there so that they can find what they're looking for, so they know that you're a real deal, so they can figure out who you are and that this is where they want to buy from, whatever it is that you're selling, right?
Yeah. That's what I tell people all the time is like, we're all inundated with so many marketing messages. I mean, you think about it, right? Like your phone, your computer, the radio, the television, like ads are everywhere. And so if you're just contributing to that noise and you're just pushing another sales message without providing content that's helpful, relevant, and solves problems for people, like you're just going to get tuned out. People can't possibly like consume all of those ads and have those messages stick. But if you're solving a problem for someone, that's going to make you resonate and stand out for them.
No. And sometimes that first impression will affect further campaigns that you want to run right down the road. They're like, no, like they said this gala was going to be amazing. And I showed up at like McDonald's. Like, I don't think so. You know what I mean? And so you almost do yourself a disservice by not, going the full 100 yards and getting that touchdown like for them the whole way.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. See, organic. Did you see how all of us just kind of lit up and we were like,
fireworks going off when we started talking.
I mean, I got fireworks too, if you want. Like, look, I got fireworks, I got confetti, I got it all.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. I guess, does that mean okay, wait, before we even say like we're shifting over to our toolkit, Kristi, is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we sadly move on toward the closing part of our show, which I don't want to do?
I know.
I would just say I'd love to connect. So you can find me at my website, KristiMitchell.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Like I said, that's where I live. Mention that you like attended this thing because I'm a picky LinkedIn person. I like to know people who want to link in with me. Yeah. And I always love meeting people for virtual coffee chats.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we had the ultimate coffee chat with Kristi. We got to talk business.
There were fireworks and confetti.
I know. You want to know what, Kristi? You're the first. I've had it in here and I've never got to use it. And so I was like, oh, I have it. I can do it. So
I feel so honored. I love it.
Yeah. No, yes. If that's not attractive to anybody as to why they shouldn't be going toward Kristi, she's evoked firework and confetti from the 15-ish minute coffee chat today.
Yeah, and
we should just call it a day, ladies.
I know. Let's just leave this
morning. Every Tuesday morning should start out this way. I'm just every single one.
Okay, I'm gonna shuffle on to our toolkit, and Anna will kind of segue this with Kristi here.
Yeah. So, listen, we have some extra questions that popped into our comments. I want people to know I'm not ignoring you, but I do think, if you go to this masterclass, pull that back up.
Going back. Okay.
If you sign up for Kristi's monthly memo, which I signed up for it. I've gotten it. It is good stuff. Okay. I mean, I'm a digital marketer and I learned a few things from her monthly memo. So it's good stuff. It's going to start to help you process through this, how to build a marketing framework, where your audience is, how to make those connections and network, and then start that sales process. It's going to help you kind of move through that. So sign up for her monthly memo, which is her newsletter that she does every month. And then I dropped that masterclass link in there. But Kristi, what else would you tell us about your monthly memo? Like, why does somebody want to be on your newsletter mailing list?
I'm so happy. I get so excited from the feedback I get from people when I send this out, right? Like, it's one of those things, like, you do it and you're like, are people looking at it? I hope so. You can see open click rates, which of course I always have laser focus on. But I start with like a kind of little like personalized note of kind of what's going on in life and my part of, the world right now. And then I basically tell you whatever's new. Like if I have a new blog up, or I have a new, my masterclass, or I have a webinar coming up on June 1st. So I drop that in there, any kind of updates. And then I really like sharing other people's resources. So I curate content from other great marketers or service providers that I think will be super helpful, relevant content for my audience. And so I drop a couple of those links in there. So it's really like chock full of resources that hopefully that is going to be great for you. That was not my dog.
I should have prefaced this. Kristi and I and Anna were talking about animals prior to coming on, and I should have said, my dog will alert anybody that anybody is home. So apologies, Kristi.
That's okay.
Well, I you know what I hope? I hope that maybe the confetti and fireworks extravaganza makes it. Maybe you'll see it on her monthly memo. You never know. You never know.
Definitely going to need to be featuring you ladies.
I mean, that was just a shameless plug, Kristi, to like advocate for us to make it into your.
Oh, you're going to make it.
All right. Okay, you guys, Anna threw the link in there. You guys have no reason not to sign up. And I mean, again, and there's the masterclass in June. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get the information that says, hey, it's ready. Join my masterclass. Learn even more. Yeah. I just feel like, you know what, that should be like an ongoing thing of marketing, is you should continuously want to learn, because it's always changing. Like the digital world is like so much more faster than the regular world, so.
It is. And that is I think that's one of the reasons why marketing feels overwhelming, because so much of it is done digitally now. I mean, people don't automatically go to paid ads. Nobody's picking up a magazine to read it, on a regular daily basis kind of thing. So that digital world, because it is moving so fast, is why it is. So follow Kristi on LinkedIn. Go sign up for her monthly memo newsletter. And at the very least now, you're getting top tips.
Yeah.
On a monthly basis to support your marketing efforts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we are sadly coming to a close. We always leave our audience with a financial tip, because we're the coffee chat. So this is our tip jar, very cute little thing there. Lynn Eldridge is our resident CPA. She's fantastic. You can also find her on LinkedIn. But Caitlin says estimated taxes should be 15 to 25% of your net profit. So if you're a small business owner, remember quarterly taxes. We just left that first quarter. We're in the middle of the second. So be thinking about estimated taxes for your net profits. Get ready to pay them.
I know it's a yucky thing, but we have to do it.
So yucky, but I know. And then next week, we want to make sure everybody knows. Next week, our guest is Pumehana Palmer.
Good job, Anna Larson.
I know. I forgot to ask Selena how exactly to say her name. So I just winged it and I did it right. I'm so glad. So Pumehana is going to come on and she's going to be talking to us about growth and transformation as a business owner, what that means, and how you can do it. That's May 17th at 10 o'clock Central, which I have to tell you guys, she's coming in from Hawaii and she wanted to keep the time at 10 a.m. So she's joining us at like 5 a.m.
I know. I love it.
But apparently she's a morning person. So
and she's a mom of two, a young toddler. So maybe that's her time before they're up. Who knows? But we're grateful. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Ken. And so we just want to close this out by saying thank you so much to Kristi. Like, this was such a good information, organic marketing. I mean, we could spend hours and hours talking about this, but you made it so succinct and easy. So if you don't have that funnel framework, make sure you go and download that blog, take our masterclass, jump on our newsletter. We just give you 3 action items that is going to build your marketing framework. That's amazing, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Kristi.
Yeah.
Thanks, ladies, so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Yep.